Hello, housemates, and welcome back to Diablo 3. In the previous, very short video, I went over Yennefer's build, which I guess I'm going to call the Wailing Lightning build because, I've got the... Or wait, I should call it... what is this called? It's the Legacy of Nightmares, so I should call it something like Electric Nightmares. How about that? That sounds particularly like a prog rock band or something. Right, so one thing I didn't mention in the last video, my follower actually kind of fits into my build a tiny bit. I did at one point try using the Arkstone, having her wear it and having me have that enchantment on. It was not very helpful at all, so I don't do that anymore. I do have Maloth's focus on her, and so occasionally enemies will run away, and of course when they run away, they get farther away from me, and that means that, my damage from Zay's Stone of Vengeance increases. I didn't show you my Kanai's capability. I, of course, have the Furnace because you must. I have the Mantle of Channeling, so while I'm channeling Arcane Torrent, I get 25% increased damage and take 25% reduced damage, which is great. And the Obsidian Ring of the Zodiac, I have that on because I spend so much time Arcane Torrenting people that it really reduces the cooldown on my Archon, which I can then get into form to just beat the shit out of things very quickly. That's the way I have it. Now, there's a bunch of stuff that I'm still looking for. I'm not happy with the state of this build. There's some more things that I would like to have. For instance, instead of Obsidian Ring of the Zodiac, I would actually like the Dovu Energy Trap, just so that things are stunned longer. I'd like to try that out, at least. I'm not sure whether it was going to do what I want, ultimately. In terms of items, there is... where is it? No. There's 3 channeling items in this season that they added. I think another one of them is in here. So I could use Hegbrash's Binding. I could find that belt and then put it in place of this belt, although I do really like this. And that would, of course, reduce the arcane power cost of Torrent, which, since I use it so much, would be quite helpful. And then, of course, there is, in the weapon area, I think this is a whatchamacallit, Source Etched Sigil. Your Arcane, Torrent, Disintegrate, and Frost spells also cast one of your other damaging arcane spenders every second. That I want so much. I would replace the hell out of Mikken's Ball of Hate with Etched Sigil, and that would just be amazing. Sigil, excuse me. All right, is there anything else I want to do before I actually set out? I had thought about changing the rune that I have on here. Critical hits have a chance to further electrocute. I do critically hit quite a lot. Increase your movement speed, increase the damage, reduce arcane power, ranged and melee attackers are shocked. What does it do right now? No, I like this. We're going to keep that. I think we are good with all of our stuff now. Okay, so let's actually do something. Basically what I've been doing now is farming for items and increasing the rank of my gems. One thing, so I mentioned that this is the Litany of the Undaunted and it gives me all these bonuses. The reason why I went for a one-handed weapon and an orb is because that gives me 2 items and therefore 200% damage bonus and 8% damage reduction. So all told, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 ancient items. So that's 1,300% damage increase and 52% damage reduction. Did I do that math right? Yeah, I did. So that's just pretty awesome, just for wearing this stuff. So I really like this build, and what's really cool is that it's just perfectly flexible. And when I say that, I mean that just depending on what items you find, you can change it from a lightning build to a fire build. you could re-enchant the rings or reforge them or whatever in order that you could use this on a Crusader or any of the other classes that you want. So I think it's really, really cool. I use Archon fairly generously because I can get the cooldown reduction on it. So it just helps me to go through this content much faster. So I don't really worry too much about wasting it, like I might if I didn't have the cooldown reduction on it. And with my Paragon skill points, I have started putting them into cooldown reduction, since I have all the points that I can put into the 2 critical skills, critical damage increase and critical chance increase. So I don't consider it a waste to put it into cooldown reduction. And once you get 50 points into cooldown reduction, you get, I think it's like a 25% reduction in your cooldowns. So that's pretty significant. So eventually, I could have a really fast cooldown on my Archon. And I'll show you when we get back to town. I do have a lot of set items too. The one that I really want to try is build like a total Archon build. I could sort of do that in my non-seasonal wizard. I just never got around to it, but I definitely want to try it here. Oh, I hate the frozen orb. As you can see, we're doing pretty well. Where did you go? We don't worry too much about the image. We do have the unstable anomaly. We do have a significant amount of damage reduction, both just passively and when we're channeling Arcane Torrent. So just like that. And as you can see, whoa, we can control how far away people are from us and therefore get an incredibly huge damage bonus. So, yeah, it's not really much of a problem for us to kill things. I do have trouble with certain types of enemies. So I've really had trouble with the demonic hellflyer type of enemies. Really ranged, slow-moving projectile ranged enemies. When there are a lot of them, you know, they do so much damage to me that sometimes they don't quite one-hit me, but it comes pretty close, and then it's hard to recover. As you can see, I stand still a lot to channel. I mean, that's the way channeling works. So the hexing pants of Mr. Yan are therefore not the best for me. Really, there aren't many good orange pants, non-set legendary pants. I figured that the one that would probably work best for me are the Poxvalds, the ones that do 15... They do some sort of like amount of percent weapon damage within 15 yards. I think that would be the best for me, and I just simply haven't found an ancient version of them yet. So you can see I can just wipe out unique mobs incredibly quickly with this. You just walk up to them and you do the right click and then the explosion, and they're just toast. So we're here on Torment 8. We're doing pretty well. I should probably switch it up to Torment 9. I went up to Torment 9 when I had 2 fewer ancient items on, and so therefore 200% less damage and 8% less damage reduction. And I could get through it. It just took a while, and it could be a little bit annoying. So I should go back up to Torment 9 to make farming a bit easier. I've played this character so much that I've gotten pretty good at not dying with her. I know when to time my teleports. Yeah, it's fun. I can get that movement speed increase on after I teleport because of the Illusionist passive. And movement speed is very important. Alright. Enemies like this, which close very quickly and do charge attacks, can also be problematic for me. Shielding enemies are problematic for everyone because they're assholes. And you can see, nonetheless, I'm just going to waste him with no problem. So I don't... Yennefer is pretty tough. Even on Torment 8, I don't need to worry about constantly running away. Even though I have no defensive legendary gems and not much in the way of defensive passive skills. So this is like the total opposite of Geralt, who is almost pure defense, and his offense comes from just sitting there and being hit and then dishing out thorns damage. Yeah. And of course, teleport is pretty essential to this build. The teleport with the mirror images really helps me out a great deal. Because they'll cast a bunch of, whatchamacallit, tornadoes for me. And then their tornadoes don't do the, like, drawing away thing. Shield pylon is the best for me. But nonetheless, it just does do a lot of damage. Yeah, shield pylon. Now you're all totally boned. As you can see, sometimes the Archon goes a bit to waste, but because I can reduce the cooldown on it, I don't really care that much. Enemies that slow me, I also don't like very much. You can see my channeling does a ton of damage. So I can just sit there and wail on something, focus on it with my Arcane Torrent. So you can see that little ball of lightning that comes out is from the energy twisters. They stack up some kind of charge, and then when I use a signature spell, which is electrocute in my case, it releases that orb, and it slowly travels and does a bunch of damage. It's not a lot, but it's something. That lightning coming off of me is from the Wreath of Lightning gem. Electrocute does all the jumping around because I have the Chain Lightning rune on it, so it can jump to like 10 enemies, which is pretty serious. And because of Mikken's Ball of Hate, it can jump to enemies to which is already jumped, which is incredibly helpful, because it means that I don't waste those 10 jumps where there are lower numbers of enemies. I'm just going to waste this guy as fast as I can. I remember that I used to underestimate the left click, on Archon and just stay with the beam. The left click is incredibly useful, as you can see there. So the stunning can mitigate a great deal of damage that I would take because they're obviously just stuck, and I hit so frequently that and I'm pretty sure the chains, the like jumps from electrocute can also stun. So I just hit so much that the stun chance becomes pretty significant. Well, not the chance. It's a 25% chance, but I just hit so many times that it has plenty of opportunities to proc. Additionally, I think I have something else somewhere that also gives a chance to stun on my items. I don't remember where it is. Exploding things can also cause me a bit of trouble, because I just don't have a lot of hit points. Oh no, I fucking hate the Bogan Trappers. They're my least favorite. Oh, missed an orb there. Now it's just a sort of grindy search for the particular items that I want. I would like to complete the various wizard sets, and then maybe try the full Archon build. I already know what the full Talrasha's build is like. It's super fun. I think the full Archon build could also be super fun. Ah. The Rift boss is imminent. Ugh, fucking guy.
The Rift Guardian is here.
Yeah. And that's you always have to remember, and it becomes more and more terrifying as you go up in torment difficulties. The rest of the enemies don't go away in the normal rifts. Alright, what kind of enlightened shrine? That is not helpful. And so you'll have to deal with all sorts of nastiness. Like for instance, we're gonna have a special dude here and the Rift Guardian. Oh fuck, that guy. So this guy is really difficult for me to deal with because you can see he does like all of my health and damage pretty much with his little fireballs. So I'm gonna die a couple times, no doubt, in this fight. Oh no. It's terrible. Especially in sort of narrow spaces like this, where it can be harder to get away from his fucking fireballs. You can see we do damage to him really fast. That's not the issue. The issue is getting hit by that kind of stuff. We can take advantage of some of the terrain features here. Oh, fuck. No, pain. Whatchamacallit. No, fuck, I don't want to wander into more stuff. No, ow. You douchebag. Let's try Russian death. Yeah. Alright. That went better than it usually does against him. As you can see, I can just dish out a ton of damage in every form here. So I do quite like this build. I'm having a lot of fun with it. And so because I finally completed it, or I'd finally gotten to the point where I was getting all of the passive bonuses out of it that I could, I wanted to show it to you. And if I ever actually complete it, you know, finding the perfect set of items, I'll show you again what's going on. But that's all I wanted to show you for now. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. Hopefully this might have given you a good idea for your own build. If you have any interesting additions or tweaks on this build that you'd like to inform me of, I'd be glad to hear about it. So please put those down in the comments. Thumbs up this video, and please subscribe to my channel. If you're not going to do any of those things, then I don't care what you do.